Welcome to the Fallout post-apocalyptic edition. The hands are back! Yay!
Not
We're-
the hands.
Yes, the hands! The hands are a fan favorite.
They're a Cole favorite.
Okay, whatever. Let me do the intro! Where we dive into the fallout of your favorite reality TV shows. Today, reviewing episodes 15 and 16 of Big Brother Canada Season 9. I'm Logan Murphy.
I'm Jordyn Legacy, also known as Big Brother Canada Source.
And we're back with more Big Brother. Jordyn, how are you doing?
Yay! Oh, Big Brother. I'm pretty good.
That's good. That's good. So yes, we are here with episodes 15 and 16. Unfortunately, Santi could not be with us today. He's currently playing an org, but we wish him the best of luck in that. Hopefully he's not second boot, because that's like his placement is like second boot. That's like his thing. So we're hoping that he's not second boot. But yeah, Santi will be back with us for next week's Wednesday episode. Yep. So you're stuck with us for today. But before we get started, if you're watching live or after the fact on YouTube, make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all those things. If you're listening to us afterwards, wherever fine podcasts can be listened to eventually, make sure you are liking and subscribing, doing all of those things. Yeah, so we don't really have a lot to talk about with Monday's episode because it was low-key kind of boring, which is why we decided to start doing Mondays and Wednesdays episodes together. But we do have a lot. We do have a lot for tonight's episode. So we jump in on Monday's episode, and Beth's HOH.
I was anticipating the week to be a snooze fest, but I guess.
And it has been anything but, let me tell you. But yeah, so Beth is talking about all of the potential things that she could do. There's talk of Ro, there's talk of Tara, there's talk of Tina, there's talk of Victoria, which the seeds were kind of planted by Brayden, and I actually really liked this move from Brayden, sort of being the one to plant the seeds of doubt in Beth's head about Victoria.
I would say that it wasn't doubty. Well, I guess it was doubty, but like it was very smart.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the only ally he really has left is Rohan from what was the Oddballs, then became Carb, and now it's just R&B, or as they're calling it, Brohan, which I hate. I fucking hate it. Yeah, they're calling them Brohan on the show, and I'm just like, just make them R&B. That's cuter. I'm gonna call them R&B.
R&B it is. Or
I love, or herb, just herb. But I like R&B a little bit better. So yeah, a lot of the Monday episode was just Brayden planting the seeds with Beth waffling, lots of Beth waffling this week, which I'm just like, can we not, like, we don't like you to begin with. Like, why do you have to waffle now?
This cast is a waffle.
This cast is a waffle, a flip-flop,
and a flop.
I was going to say, what other inanimate objects can we use? Oh, a Korean barbecue chicken sandwich. Or no, a Korean barbecue burger from Wendy's. That's what this cast is.
They do like their chicken from Wendy's, I've noticed.
Yeah, they sure do.
Anyone gotten a burger yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Wait, Ro did.
I think was that?
Didn't he get a Baconator?
I think I
thought I heard Baconator. I thought I heard Baconator.
You know what? I hope one of them gets a Baconator. If he didn't, I hope one of them did. Or one of them does. But yeah, so Beth did take Ro on the Wendy's, which I found interesting, and basically was like, "Oh, I made you a have-not. Here's some Wendy's. Also, you're going on the block as a pawn." Like that. I was just like, "Okay, Beth, that's an interesting."
At least
interesting scenario.
at least she let him know the plan.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, so like, I'm not the biggest Beth fan, but at the moment,
who is?
I'm just glad she is not. She seems to be caring about her own game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I may think she's problematic and like not a good person, but as far as the gameplay this week, like she's really proved herself, and I'm genuinely kind of impressed. I don't want to be, but I am, because I wasn't expecting. As soon as I found out she was in this throuple, I was like, oh, she's taking her game, and it's actually really refreshing to see that she is not doing that, and in fact doing the opposite. And we get a little bit in tonight's episode, especially of the boys wanting to take out Rohan. But we get a couple DRs from Beth throughout Monday and Wednesday's episode, talking about how like the boys may want Ro out, but this is my HOH, so I'm gonna do what is best for my game. And I was just like, that's actually a really like, I'm on board for that.
I was like, thank God.
What ended up happening?
God.
What ended up happening, I'm not a fan of, obviously, but we'll get into that. So yeah, Beth also has to. Oh, this was the other thing I wanted to talk about with Monday specifically. When Beth wins the HOH, she then has to name have-nots, and immediately goes, "Well, I'm not putting my boys on slop." And I was like,
well, my boys aren't going up or something.
Yeah, so she ends up putting Tina, Tara, Ro, and Brayden on slop. This is like all of their third week. The throuple still has not been on slop. And I'm just like, I just need
Ro and Brayden alone.
Honestly. But it ends up not mattering for Ro. We'll get to the skip the dishes. Yeah, I mean, other than noms, is there anything else you wanted to talk about with Monday's episode? Because otherwise, it felt like a lot of filler.
What did they show us from week 1? Because I feel like I missed something.
Oh, I don't even remember. Was it day 3? Did they show us day 3?
I don't know. Like, I just heard talk on BB Twitter of there being that, like, repeat of footage or something.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
And then I don't know really what happened after that.
I think it was just like the rehab. I think it was Ghost Peppers, if I remember correctly. Okay. It was just how like Vic has wanted to work with the throuple. Oh yeah. I was like, are you jumping ahead? No.
I am not jumping ahead as much as I want to.
We'll get there. But yeah, so Beth does go ahead and put Ro and Tara on the block as pawns. We love a pawn move. And the plan at the end of Monday's episode, according to Beth, is to backdoor Victoria. Now, I always am hesitant when it comes to a backdoor plan because most of these fucking Big Brother players don't know what an actual backdoor is. And in case you don't know what a real backdoor is,
the people.
We're teaching the children, the Fallout teaching the children. So a lot of Big Brother players, especially... Yes, teaching the children edition. I don't know why I'm doing the hints for this one, but we're doing it. I don't know. But yeah, so the true backdoor plan originated in season 5, and what it really is, a lot of especially recent players like to use the term backdoor, and they even used it on All Stars incorrectly, and I'm just like, but All Stars was also a mess, so whatever. So a true backdoor is when the HOH puts up 2 pawns, and then someone comes down with the veto, and someone else goes up in their place. Now, the contingency with a true backdoor is that the player that gets backdoored is not someone who played in the veto.
Correct.
That's like the thing. So, and we'll talk about it, this week was a true backdoor, and one of one of the first true backdoors we've seen in a very long time on Big Brother Canada. Exactly like the banner says, a backdoor. Which honestly, I love to see a backdoor. I didn't like the outcome of the backdoor, but I love that someone actually went through with a true backdoor plan.
Yes. Love that for us.
Yes. So jumping into Wednesday's episode a little bit, we get the fallout of the nominees. Ro feels good. Well, not the fallout of the veto yet, but we'll get there in a second. Rohan feels good because he knows that the Vic backdoor is the plan, and we get a lot of paranoia, which I love that phrasing. I'm like, whoever
I do love the paranoia.
Whoever on production came up with paranoia, you need a raise. Because I don't even think BB Twitter had even talked about the paranoia. But I love it. And we get this, like, I want to know what you thought about this conversation. So it's Tina and Tara in the Expedia room, and then Kiefer comes in, and then it's like this back and forth between Tara and Kiefer for some reason, and they ultimately come to the decision that, like, they're not on each other's side. And I was like, what is the point of this conversation? Like, why are we having this conversation?
What the point of the conversation was to draw a line in the sand that didn't need to be drawn. I don't know.
More lines in non-existent sand, and I don't like it. I would like some actual sand so someone can draw a line in it, Jordyn. That's all I'm asking for.
Maybe we can dig a hole in the ball pit.
Do you think there's sand at the bottom of the ball pit?
Woo, that would be awful.
That'd be bad. That'd be horrible. Like, imagine sleeping on balls. I would like to sleep on some balls.
Well, what I want to know is, what's the point of the ball pit if it's not actually the have-not room?
Yeah, have people been sleeping in there at all?
No. Nobody's sleeping in the ball pit.
That just occurred to me.
The ball pit has a power. That's all I know. I'm sticking with the ball pit has a power.
Wait. Oh, fuck. You're so right, because Brayden's been sleeping in the bedroom for, like, a few weeks because of the whole Ty shenanigans.
So basically, the ball pit is just, I don't know what the point. It's just a room.
Okay, so if you're not going to force house guests, or if you're not going to force have-nots.
Have-nots are basically just on slop.
On slop? Then why have that? Then why have that? Like, I don't, and that's the one thing I think that I've been most frustrated about BBCAN in recent years, is that they kind of just, like, stopped caring about have-nots.
But, like, didn't last year they have to sleep in there? Was there even have-nots last year? I know it was such a short season.
I don't even remember. I know there was a have-not room, and it was the swamp, because they had, like, the tree, the bridge, and, like, the green patches.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't remember if anyone slept in there ever, but, like, it existed.
Because
but it's just like, if you're gonna hype up these have-not rooms and then not even make people sleep in the ball pit, then, like, what's the point? Unless, like, a bunch of house guests have gone to production and be like, so we physically can't sleep in this. But that's never been addressed on feeds or on the show.
No, and if you're gonna do that, then you should address it. Production.
Mm-hmm. Like, if
More
anything
about production.
Like if anything, okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent here with this for a second. So, like, if anything, just, like, put a bouncy house in, and then they sleep on the bouncy house.
The bouncy castle?
Yeah, like, that's still shit. But, like, it fits the theme.
It would be more comfortable than past seasons.
It would, but it would still be, like, or it could be, like, a half inflated bouncy.
My God.
Like, only inflated.
Maybe they're worried people will suffocate in the ball pit.
But also, they've made them sleep on the floor in past seasons. Like, BBCAN 3, it was literally an empty room.
An empty room with a panel that if you move too close to it, it would go, mah, mah, mah.
I forgot about that. And then that turned into the power, didn't it? Oh, Lord. Okay.
And I'm like doing some research, and I'm very pro. There's got to be a power in this room. It's going to be unlocked in the next few weeks.
I hope it's unlocked
after the double.
Tomorrow. I hope it's unlocked tomorrow.
No, I do not need Big Brother's hands in what I want to happen this week.
I do, because I want Vic to stay.
With the waffling and the flip-flopping, it could still happen.
Waffles, flip-flops. What else do we need for our vacation getaway? Oh, yes, ass veto. We love a good ass veto. So yeah, there's just a lot of like the other like through line of this episode, to get back on track for the hottest of moments. The other through line is Vic and this Ghost Peppers alliance that like isn't real, but Vic thinks it's real. And Vic's like, it's the 4. It's the 4. We've got this. Like, this is our game. And so that's the other through line throughout the whole thing. We also get this like gross Jed and Beth couple moment where they wake up in bed together. And spoiler alert, we know they fucked, so that's fun. And I'm just like,
one thing I want to say before we like proceed. I do not like how the boys are currently talking to Beth. I know she's like not our favorite human in the world, but we're coming off so fucking misogynistic this episode, and I don't know if it was just the episode and the editing, because I haven't watched the feeds lately. I've been a bad fan.
Yeah. So I've watched a little bit of feeds, and like I think it's mostly Jed, honestly. It doesn't really feel like Ty is doing a lot of the misogynistic stuff.
And other buckets.
Ty ain't clear from anything either. But yeah, we do get this part before the veto. And it's the throuple, and then who else is in there? It's Kiefer and Brayden and the throuple are in the HOH, and they're like talking about who should go, and the boys are like, well, we think Ro should go, so Ro should go. And I'm like, no. And then we get this good DR from Beth where she's like, well, the boys may want Ro to go, but this is my HOH, so I'm going to do what's best for my game. And I was like, okay, Beth, I may not like you, but like, go off.
Finally.
Very that. Like, I'm on board with that, honestly, because like, the misogyny is too real. And I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Do you, Jordan? Should we talk about Skip the Dishes instead?
I love Skip the Dishes.
You know who else loves Skip the Dishes?
Probably
Rohan, because Canada voted Ro for the Skip the Dishes again. And I'm just like, y'all are making it apparent that Ro is a Canada's favorite.
Yeah, Canada seems to be loving Ro.
But I feel like he's also been on Slop like 4 out of the 5 weeks. Like, or am I just like crazy? Like, he's been on Slop a lot.
He's been on Slop.
But you know what? I'm on board for it.
He's on the block. He's on Slop. Let Ro just live his life.
Honestly.
He is a challenge beast, though. But let him live his life.
We will get there. So yes, speaking of challenges, the veto. Ooh, veto player pick. Ooh, picking the veto. So obviously we have Ro and Tara competing, as well as Brayden, good old Tina Thistle, and Tashawn. And before the veto, we got this conversation with Beth and Tina, which I found interesting because they haven't really been like the closest in the house. So I found this conversation interesting. And basically what we got from this is Beth is talking in the DR and is saying, well, whatever Tina knows, Tara's going to know because they're such a tight duo. And Beth
I would agree with that fact.
Yeah, and Beth realizes that she's going to need Tina and Tara down the line to potentially do the dirty work to take out the boys. Because she's not going to want to take out the boys. But if she does, legendary move. Like, I would be, like, iconic, truly the most iconic.
I would be so happy to see her do that. Oh, and then we also got Tina in the confessional saying she has to win veto for Tara.
Yeah, so we get a lot of like people talking about whether they're going to use the veto or not. And this is like the first week where we're definitively hearing during the veto comp who's going to use it and who's not. And like obviously Ro and Tina would use it, but then Ro and Tara would use it, but we do also get Tina saying that she would use it on Tara, and then we have Ty and Bray kind of like in the middle, like will we use it, will we not? Not really sure. But yeah, what did you think of this veto?
Okay. Why am I hearing echo?
I don't know.
That is weird. Okay. First and foremost, the corn costume could have been made better.
That was janky as all hell. No. I don't want to talk about the corn.
Y'all did the corn costume dirty.
Y'all did Vic dirty with that corn costume.
The corn costume could have been cute. But
it could have been, but it wasn't.
But the seams were all janky. Ooh. Poor construction.
Okay, I'm glad.
How would you have gotten at this veto? Oh no, that was the first thing I noticed.
I think I would have done decently. I don't think I would have done great. I probably would have spent way too much time on the memorization, and then I probably wouldn't have finished.
I would have spent more time trying to get things on the grill.
Yeah.
Because that looked janky also.
Yeah, it did. So you have to... I was like, why are we playing lacrosse? Like that's where I was questioning. I was like, why are we playing lacrosse right now?
We have had challenges, a lacrosse challenge in the past.
We've had a few of them.
Yeah,
that feels very Canadian.
Mm-hmm. And you win a barbecue.
And you win a barbecue. And to win that barbecue, you have to memorize the position of the items. There's some wieners. There's some pineapple, which I'm glad I wasn't playing because I am allergic to pineapple. There was some. Was the other thing corn? Was it corn? We had some corn, some pineapple, and some wieners. And you had to like.
Was it corn or was it an onion?
No, I think it was corn because you had to throw the corn into the corn hole is what it was because it was dumb and stupid. It was literally a hole, and then you threw the corn in the hole.
Well,
and I said, "Oh, big brother."
If I was on the block, I would be leaving this week.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. But yeah, so you have to memorize the items on the grill. You have to like throw the corn into the hole, throw the wieners onto the buns. Get the pineapples on like a stick thing, and then you have to like lacrosse launch them onto the grill, and then you have to organize them. So you have to like remember it the whole time.
And then you lock in, but you didn't. So Ro locked in early, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and then Bray locked in with like a minute left, I think.
Yeah, this challenge I would not have been good at.
This challenge felt weird. Like, why are we timing them?
because it was partially memory, partially not memory.
Well, I
partially
feel like
memory, so it was like a mix of memory and endurance.
They're more physical.
Yeah, it was definitely a physical challenge.
Yeah,
but it still had its memory aspect. I like.
But I don't understand.
Was it Tara's comment at the end
about
when they will you barbecue us some slop?
Oh yeah, Tara being Tara. But yeah, so we only get 2 people locking in for the that actually did the whole challenge, and it was Ro and Bray. And Bray got it wrong, so Rohan wins his 3rd straight veto.
Yay!
Insanity.
There's a reason his ass is on. There is a reason his ass is on the block every week.
Am I converting to Team Rohan, Jordyn? I may be.
Honestly, I'm so impressed with him, but we'll talk about it a little later, but there is this. I'm a little worried for him.
I am too. But yeah, so the rest of the episode literally is Waffle City. We are having chocolate waffles, blueberry waffles, whole wheat waffles, waffles for everyone.
They were going out of their way to make Vic feel very secure.
And it's just I think the only person that comes out of this week looking really, really good, especially after what's happened on the feeds, I think the only person coming out of this week who looks really good is Brayden. And I love that for Brayden.
I think he's in a really good position going into the double tomorrow.
I think Austin leaving is honestly the best thing that could have happened to his game. And I didn't know how he would come back, but I do love that he's pulled in with Beth, so he's with the throuple, he's with Ro, he's not really with Tina and Tara, but Tina and Tara have bigger fish to fry. Yeah, it's become a quad, and I'm just ugh, gross.
One thing I didn't what was it before or after Veto? Kiefer was kind of I don't like how Brayden's all of a sudden a sunsetter.
I think it was after.
Yeah, because he was really building that Brayden's not with us.
Yeah,
boy.
I'm happy to see Kiefer at all, because it's he had his HOH and his veto moment, and then he's literally just been coasting ever since. And I'm
he just assumes being a sunsetter is going to get him automatically to the end.
Which, for the time being, and for the time being, it has been. So I don't really blame him, but I'm just that's not a. Well, it's not even a floater game. But that's not a floater game that I enjoy. The floater game that I'm enjoying, and a lot of people still are saying that Tina's not playing the game. Tina is playing the game.
Speaking of Tina Thistle, everybody go buy her merch.
Oh yes, I hopefully will have a Big Brother mug here in recent, hopefully before the finale. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm looking at. I don't know what I want yet. But I do want something.
I kind of want. Is it toque? Am I saying that right? Is it toque? Is it toque?
Toque.
It's a toque. Okay. There's a couple toques, and I'm on board. I'm I could do a toque, but it's also really hot. I kind of want the mask as well. That would be really cute. But yeah, more waffling.
T-shirt.
It's anything and everything you can imagine, minus socks and sweatpants.
I haven't been there yet. But everybody buy Tina's merch. Nice.
Absolutely, yeah. And we get more waffling. Yes. Jordyn, I must ask, what do you put on your waffles?
Whipped cream and strawberries.
Ooh.
And maybe a little maple syrup.
Ooh, okay. So I do Thank you so much for asking. I put the same thing on pancakes, waffles, and French toast because I love it, and it's always sautéed cinnamon apples and like the smallest bit of maple syrup.
You didn't invent French toast, did you?
Don't you dare. I am gonna move on from that comment, Jordyn Legacy, and we're gonna talk about the veto ceremony. So a veto happened, Jordyn, and Ro used it on himself. I'm so glad that he didn't have to go, Tara, tell me why I should use the veto on you, because that never ends well. So we're just like, Ro just goes, I'm using it on me. Bye. Like, and then there was like some corny rapping and like rhyming, and I was like, no.
I really enjoyed the sass of Beth, where she was like, it's about to get spicy.
And then, yeah, so as we've kind of alluded to throughout this podcast today, the final nominees are Tara and Spicy B. My winner pick on the block.
Look, my winner pick left week 1.
Yeah, we know, okay? We're still upset about Julie Food. I did beat you in that, though. So that's all I care about. Who did Santi say? Do we remember who Santi said?
That was 2 hours. I don't remember.
I don't either.
Who did Santi
I was gonna say, did I win the battle between the three of us? Because I know I beat you, but I don't remember who Santi said.
Was he?
Did Santi say Austin?
Maybe.
If anyone in the comment, if anyone watching live remembers, let us know in the comments, because I don't know who it is. But yeah, so we have Tara and Victoria. One of them will be the first person evicted in the double. It's happening, Jordyn.
Oh, thank fucking God.
The
double
happening.
Is on the horizon.
I'm so glad we switched to Fridays, so that way I don't have to worry about my opinions.
Before we can have a double, we need to see the house meeting. That's 39 minutes long.
And we're going to talk all about that house meeting. So if you don't want any spoilers, goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of here, because we're going to talk about spoilers. Goodbye. Okay, great. So before we... Yeah, so before we talk about the house meeting, I just want to talk about the fact that Jed and Beth have fucked. There is full-on penetration that has happened in the Big Brother house, and I hope there's some plan B.
What I don't... He didn't use protect.
I don't think so.
Okay, but how did she not know that he didn't use protection? Because I don't think that was even vocalized.
I mean, guys probably aren't going to do it if they don't have to.
I guess. That was... Hopefully Big Brother has gotten that girl some plan B.
I sure fucking hope so. Yeah,
or 9 months from now, we'll be seeing the first BBCAN babies.
Woo! But yeah, so the only other thing that's been super prominent on the feeds is we've gotten we had a house meeting yesterday that was basically a house fight. And there was talk about it all throughout Monday and Tuesday throughout the house. Like, people knew it was coming. And so Tuesday around like noon yesterday, Big Brother time, we had this house fight meeting.
So noon Eastern?
Yeah, I think. I don't remember exactly what time it was, because I woke up and it had happened, so that's where I was at. But yeah, so it's 37 minutes long. If you go to YouTube and search BBCAN 9 house fight, there's a clip.
Hopefully,
you can watch
hopefully that clip is not removed.
Let's hope so. Like certain other things that were removed, but we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, so basically the house meeting, but was really a fight. It was basically Victoria versus Tina, Tara, and Ro. And like Victoria was calling the three of them out for everything they had done, and they just were like, deny, deny, deny. It ultimately came down to like a screaming match between Tara and Victoria. Lots of emotions, a lot of like Beth popping in here or there to like clarify things. But yeah, it was basically just like a lot of yelling. I watched half of it and then gave up and started like skipping through.
Can I watch it with no sound?
As long as you do a reaction on Twitter. Because that'd be funny.
Because I don't know if I want to listen to screaming for 30 minutes.
It's just like, I don't know. And the interesting part of it all is like,
but at least it was a house meeting, like an actual fight. It wasn't like the first one this season. That was a total snooze fest.
I forgot about that, if I'm being honest. Like, I completely spaced that happened.
It was basically Jed bullying Josh.
Yep.
Which we don't stand for around here.
Ooh, not the yawning.
Not the yawning.
But yeah, it's on YouTube if y'all want to go watch it. Nothing else has really happened, but some people have been talking about whether the Vic backdoor is actually going to go through.
That's because these people don't know. Okay. We're back to the waffling and the flip-floppy flappy flap. I do think Vic has there is a chance she could stay tomorrow.
I think the best chance of her staying is against Tara, so I am kind of glad that it's the two of them.
But I also feel like it just defeats the purpose. She is one of those players that you have, if you're going to nominate and take your shot, you can't miss.
You have to make sure you have the votes.
And because she has been such a challenge beast this season, like that, if she doesn't go tomorrow, you're probably leaving in the double, because I wouldn't be surprised if Victoria wasn't the HOH winner in the second part of the eviction tomorrow if she stays.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the HOH tomorrow is going to be really interesting because 9 times out of 10, it's some form of memory comp, whether it's like the spinny dial with the AB, or it's a true false comp, or like the dice with the face comp. Like that's, especially in Canada, like that's kind of the direction they go with the double.
Related to pre-jury.
It normally is, because it's like first or second juror, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Just because I miss Julie, Austin, and Josh.
Yeah. So. And Kyle even a little bit. And
sure.
Maybe just a slice of LaToya, because she was a good player. Did you see the video?
She was also one of those players that took your shot, you make sure you don't fucking miss.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the video of LaToya with Ika and Dem and Maddie and who the fuck else was there? I think
there was like a poll on Twitter at one point, because there was another group with Kyle.
Oh, it was Kyle, Vanessa, Brooke, and Sheldon. And I was like, that's disgusting. The fact that y'all hang out with him, disgusting.
Look, I was like, Dem and Ika party all day with them. It wasn't
Oh, Jamar was there. That's the other person. I couldn't remember who the other person was. It was Jamar.
Hey, shorty.
Not that. But yeah, so we've got more waffling and flip-flops and various other breakfast items and shoes on the horizon. Jordyn, do you think it's time for some double eviction predictions?
I mean, double eviction predictions.
Corner.
I'm still working on the song. It'll appear eventually, hopefully by the end.
Speculation corner. All right, Jordyn Legacy the third. I don't know if there's any other Jordans.
Okay.
The third. You are now the third. Jordyn, who do you think is getting evicted tomorrow? Both in the first eviction and the double.
First eviction. These people need a brain, so it should be Victoria.
Okay.
Second eviction, I could see Tara going. Like, I could see a Tara Rohan situation. If it's not, so if Victoria stays, I could see Beth following Tara.
Okay. I am going to stay positive. I'm going to say that Tara is going in the first eviction because I don't want to admit that Victoria's going. But no, it's probably Vic, and I've kind of already accepted it, and it's fine. You know, the double, it really depends on who wins HOH. So it's going to be a memory comp, most likely, or an elimination comp. I feel like I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say, best case scenario, that our good, lovely, fabulous, iconic Tina Thistle is going to win this HOH. And I'm going to predict that Jed will be following Victoria.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm going to say Jed. I just hope it's not Tina or Ty because I have both of them in my draft, and I don't want to lose anyone from my draft.
At least if Jed goes, there will be less banging in the HOH bed.
No, because Beth is just gonna flip-flop waffle back to Ty.
Do you think she can come back to Ty after the other thing that happened this week?
I don't know.
They looked pretty cozy at that POV.
You never know. You never, ever know. What we do know, though, is we will be back Friday. I think did we agree on 10:30 Eastern? Is that a thing we decided on?
It's a late one. Yes.
It's a late one. Fridays are difficult, but so yeah, we will be back Friday around 10:30-ish Eastern, hopefully at 10:30 Eastern.
And at that point, we should also know who is HOH.
Most likely.
So we should have a look as to like what the week is how it's gonna play out.
Absolutely.
If there is a power in that room, Big Brother, can you please give it to Tina Thistle?
Or Victoria. Either one is fine.
Throw that into the universe.
Yeah.
Wait.
I just see
the fees were down for how long?
When?
I just remember there was it yesterday, like an hour or something?
I don't feel like that's enough time, though. Because I feel like normally it's a scavenger hunt sort of situation.
Yeah, but usually... Oh, that's right. And usually we get to watch the scavenger hunt kind of unfold.
Mm-hmm.
And then just as they're about to find the power, no feeds.
Yeah. So I hope there's a power in play. I hope that other people go home. I just don't want to lose Victoria, because if we lose Victoria, the other thing I was thinking about, if we lose Victoria, not only are we
a snooze fest.
Well, but not only are we left with 3 women, but as far as demographics go in the house, it'll be only white women and only men of color. Which is actually actually really interesting. Not great by any means, but
this boot order this season has been a hot
tragedy.
You know what I'm looking forward to also tomorrow?
How good Arissa looks.
Arissa and Julie Vu's vote to evict.
Oh yes, Julie Vu's vote to evict. It's so good. I'm excited to see probably Spicy V.
Again?
I would be shocked if she voted Tara, honestly.
And we'll also get Julie Vu's iconic outfit.
She's looked so good in all of these.
She's delivering us her she's at least giving us the fashion that she was supposed to give us in the game.
I'm still so sad, Jordyn.
And if you want to see clips of the fight, go watch Julie Vu's Instagram video where she reenacts listening to it.
Horrible, but so good. And
you won't see any of the actual eviction fight, but you will see her peeping the audio, and it cracked me up. And that being said, we're back Friday night.
We always have to throw in a good Julie Vu segment at the end of any podcast.
Julie Vu, we love you.
We love all of you watching and listening. And with that, we will see you Friday.
On Friday night. I might be drinking.
Goodbye. Oh.